Hey guys, okay, so you made it to your 5th day of 3rd grade. It is Friday and we have a 3-day weekend, so I will not be posting your assignments until Tuesday. Okay, and Mrs. Sanders will be officially gone until November starting on Tuesday. So you will be seeing Mrs. Boshirt, so she'll start doing these videos with you next week. So let me read my last chapter to you before I go. Chapter 5, The Hat. Mom was right. Judy didn't spit at me or say hello or look at me or anything in school today. In other words, she ignored me like every other day. Even when she dropped her pencil on the floor during silent reading and I picked it up and handed it to her, she didn't even say thank you. And my mother was right about the angel stuff too. From the moment Mrs. Sims said, "Good morning, angels," we all answered, "Good morning, Mrs. Sims." You could feel the angel buzz in the air. Darren, who never says please or thank you, raised his hand and said, "Mrs. Sims, may I please go to the bathroom?" And when Darren came back, Missy, who's the shyest person in class, whispered to him as he went past, "Your fly is open." All day long, pleases and thank yous and pardon me's were flying around like bees at a picnic. A lot of who did it's too. Because from the first minute, all eyes were on Mrs. Sims' desk. Sitting right there was an apple, a really big red apple, a really big red polished apple, buffed to shine like it was a new car. Whispers raced up and down the aisles. Who did it? Who did it? Who did it? Nobody knew, except me. As the whispers were flying around, I was doing my usual thing in my seat behind Judy, staring at her perfect, uncovered right ear. I started to notice something. The perfect curve at the top of her ear was getting pink, then red. The whispers were flying and Judy was blushing. Aha! I thought that apple came from her. Some of Judy's blush sank into my chest. We shared a secret. I closed a fist and made a vow. Nothing, not 100 spiders or torture by tickling or 10 Geralds would ever make me rat her out. During silent reading, Mrs. Sims was writing something. It was hard to concentrate on my book. I kept looking up at her. So did everybody else. We were all wondering the same thing. Is she writing something good about me? Perfect in every way. I kept remembering what Judy said about angels yesterday. And that's what we were today, perfect in every way. We sat straight in our chairs and raised our hands for every question and stood to give our answers and were quiet as mice the rest of the time. I kept reminding myself to keep my lip buttoned and not blurt out stuff like yesterday. Only Joey was bad. He kept making noises and funny faces and he was trying to make us laugh, but nobody did. Even in the lunchroom, we were perfect. Everybody smiled at the lunch lady, said thank you whenever they handed us something, and everybody chewed with their mouth shut, except for Joey. Then came after lunch recess. It was a warm and sunny day, but really windy. Swings were flapping when nobody sat on them. Basketball shots were curving. Besides the wind, everything was going along pretty normal until a yellow baseball cap came flying into the playground. On the other side of the fence, a lady in a sweatsuit was stopped, jogging in place. She was pointing at her hat, which had blown off and landed among a bunch of us 3rd graders. For a second, nobody moved, and then it hit us all at once. A good deed. About 10 of us pounced on the hat. There were so many hands, the best I could do was grab somebody's wrist. We were wrenching and pulling and twisting 10 different ways. I got it, let go. I was first. Ow! Suddenly, we all snapped apart like a broken wishbone. Eddie was holding the rim of the hat. Diana was holding the rest. Uh-oh. Everybody just stared at the hat pieces, except Joey, who was laughing. A screech came from the sidewalk. "You little hoodlums!" The jogger lady kicked the chain link fence and started running. Mrs. Sims was standing in the doorway watching. Silence in the classroom. The 2 pieces of the yellow hat sat on Mrs. Sims' desk. In between them was an apple. That was disgraceful. Very unangelic behavior. Judy raised her hand. Mrs. Sims didn't call on her, but Judy stood up and spoke anyway. But I didn't do it. I was just watching. Sounded like she might cry. Mrs. Sims didn't even look Judy's way. Judy sat down. You're all guilty, said Mrs. Sims. You're guilty of doing it, you're guilty of watching, and doing nothing to stop it. How many of you went over to the lady and told her you were sorry for the bad behavior of your classmates? No hands. Didn't think so. You're guilty of that too. She looked at us like we were burnt toast. Angels, ha! This may be the first class where nobody gets a halo. Angels, you were no better than a pack of sharks after a piece of meat. Joey burst out laughing. Button it, Pearson, said Mrs. Sims. Joey buttoned it. The rest of us stopped breathing. I guess it's all just words, huh? Mrs. Sims said. Angel talk, no angel do this. She held up half a hat in each hand. Will never happen again. Her eyes went up and down the rows, zapping each of us with a yeah, you glare. She put the hat halves down. Got it? No sounds came from us. We just boggled and nodded. All right, that's it. So your last question of the day is...